Razabani for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to have with me on Zoom my man, Mr. Spencer Fearon. Spence, how are we doing?
Twice in 1 week. Careful, man. I told you.
People were already talking because it was once a week. Now we've done twice this week.
Yeah. You can't get rid of me, mate. I'm here to stay.
Spence, obviously, it is fight week. It is Josh Warrington is back. It's a huge rematch. Just before we touch on Josh and the card, I just kind of want to go back to the weekend. I didn't speak to you about, and I know you don't like speaking too much about this, but Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley obviously had a fight. We obviously Daniel Dubois, Tommy Fury on the undercard. It was sold out. I was surprised that from the very beginning of the card that probably 90% of the arena was filled with fans, which is unbelievable. But did you manage to see the highlights anyway? Because I know you didn't stay up for it.
No, I didn't stay up for it. I'm not going to pay for it either. But I did watch the highlights, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was an entertaining fight, to tell you the honest truth. You have to, let's call it as it is. There's two novices inside a boxing ring, right? But it made for an entertaining fight. And I also think, like, I've been critical of the Paul brothers, but now I can't be. I got to be real and say, like, this is still bringing eyeballs to the sport, right? It is, right? And they had a good undercard as well with some solid fighters on the undercard. So I can't really be that critical, because it's not like he's in here saying that I want to fight Canelo, even though he can talk some nonsense and the rest of it, but he ain't doing that, right? He is what he is. He's a novice. He's a novice professional. And, you know, who I'd like to see him fight would be Rio Ferdinand. Remember when Rio tried to get his license and it didn't work out for him? Maybe Rio Ferdinand. I'm going to be real. Jake Paul versus Rio Ferdinand. I think they're around the same way. That was cruiserweight they fought at over on a weekend. So yeah, Rio Ferdinand, Jake Paul, because Rio did a lot of training with Richard Woodall. He got fit and everything. I know Rio, and it was about the same level as, like, technically of which I watched. So therefore, I believe that Rio come out. You didn't really get a chance to say you were retired because the border control didn't give you a license. Yeah. Go over to America. I think that would be a massive, massive fight. You're a soccer legend, football legend, but I'm saying that because I know Americans are here, right? Go out and, yeah, I think Rio Ferdinand I'd like to see that fight versus Jake Paul.
Spence, boxing's a strange game, or a strange sport rather, not a game, it's a sport. We had Josh Warrington. I remember him being in purse bids with Kid Galahad because he obviously had the IBF title at the time. He pulled out of the purse bids and vacated the title. He obviously had Lara in front of him and was looking beyond Lara, obviously, for the bigger fights. He takes a dramatic loss. This was back in February. And then the IBF now is strapped around Kid Galahad, and Kid Galahad now has signed a promotional deal with Eddie Hearn. So boxing works in weird and strange ways at times. Just going back to that Lara fight in February, you know, there were a few Mexicans that were coming to the UK that were beating the Brits, and everyone was joking, keep the Mexicans out. But it did surprise everybody. Did it surprise you?
Yeah, but I've just thought also, did they really watch this guy? The guy was a puncher, man. Out and out puncher. And I don't think they did their homework enough or sufficient homework, or that wouldn't happen. If you look at someone like Josh Warrington, he's a very, very good boxer. He isn't like a massive puncher, but he hits hard enough, right? Because he hasn't got loads of knockouts on his record, but he hits hard enough. You see, like, well, guys, we see like they haven't really they're not out and out punchers. They've got very, very good body attack. And if you look at someone like Warrington, he's got a very good body attack and he's got a good work rate. And I think he got tagged. He never survived from being tagged, underestimated his opponent as well. And I think also at the time when, like, you're fighting and there is no crowd there. This time now there will be a crowd. Josh Warrington, with his Leeds fans, he thrives off of the crowd. I think it's going to be a different scenario here. To the fact that I got Warrington winning on points. maybe getting a few rocky moments in there, but nothing where he's going to be badly wobbled. But I think he's going to get touched up a little bit. But I can see him coming out successful, and I got him winning on points.
Spencer, Josh normally comes front-footed, comes out, lets his hands go, and that's normally his style. I don't really see him ever on the back foot and jabbing away and coming in combination. He likes to come in range. With someone like Lara, isn't that a perfect style for him?
It is, but I know straight standard. Josh with his old man are going to fine tweak and make the right adjustments. He's got a very, very good boxing brain. And even when he's hurt, he feeling like, oh my goodness gracious, I've got to fight out. And that's when his fighting spirit came out and he got tagged again. I don't think he's going to be open or susceptible to those shots in the rematch because he's going to do his homework. He knows what he's been in there with. And it's not even a fact of fighter's pride why he's taking that. It's more to do, it's more to do with like professional pride. And say like, well, if I'm professional here and I bring my correct professionalism into the game and into this fight, then I'm going to come out victorious. And I believe that he will come out victorious if he does that. If he comes in there with a correct game plan, which I believe that him and his dad will have sat down and worked out, then he's going to win that fight. I believe so. And it's going to be unanimous points win in Josh's favor.
Spencer, what about levels of pressure? He hasn't taken any fights in between. He's jumping straight back into the rematch after that devastating stoppage. And on top of that, if he does lose again, would you class this fight as a do or die?
Yeah, obviously, of course it is. Because here's a man who's been world champion, he was British Commonwealth European champ. He's a very, very decorated individual, right? And he's got really good wins on his record, wins against Selby, wins against Frampton, wins against Galahad, right? You still have to look at it and say, even though he got knocked out, by resume alone, he's still the best featherweight in the world, but it's one of the best featherweights, he's the best featherweight in the UK because we've got quite a few guys now who've got titles spinning around their waist. So, yeah, I think if he pays attention to details and little fine intricate stuff, he's going to come out victorious. He's a very, very good boxer. You know what he's really good at? He's good at feinting, then throwing a shot, right? But sometimes he'll feint and draw the lead, and he didn't count, and then he got counted himself, and then that's what started it all off. He got caught, and he was like, "Right, what's going on there?" Yeah, I mean, you go into a ring, you got your game plan, you get hit with a hard shot, your game plan's in your hand, and when you're looking for your game plan now, it's in the fourth row, you're looking for it, you get hit at the same time. I think this time now, he's going to have his game plan memorized, won't have to carry it with him, and how like the feints that he does is going to be the feint, 1, 2, back on the jab, and moving that side to side with a tight guard and lots of rolls because he's very good at rolling, but he's got to be careful as he's rolling, he's hooking that he don't, Lara doesn't hook back with him, right? As long as he keeps that right hand cocked, he's gonna be all right. I believe he's gonna be all right because I don't think there'll be no way like you're gonna go take that fight knowing that you can most probably take an easier fight. But right now, how it goes is this: the zone cannot give you easy fights. All those boys were at a level at the zone. I'm telling you now, because they're trying to build their platform. They're everywhere right now. I mean, I saw the other day, they took out quite a few spread advertisements in the press. They're really going for this. So you can only go for this by what quality are you putting on for the fans to go and see. Now, Josh Warren is a big name and he sells in Leeds. It's crazy, right? But they know still, I can't. Eddie Hearn knows, and people don't know, we can't trick the public. We ain't idiots. You're going to have to go give us a proper fight. And this is a proper fight, but I still believe that Josh Warren is going to come out victorious.
Conor Benn back in action. I know you should have fought a couple of weeks ago, but obviously got hit with COVID. What do you make of the matchmaking? Benn-Granados, I know he's had nearly 30 odd fights. He's had 8 losses though, and he has fought some of the big names in the welterweight division. Broners, the Sean Porters, Danny Garcias, Robert Easter Jr. as well. He's fought, I think that was 140 maybe. He was knocked out by Danny Garcia a couple of fights ago. Is this the right fight for Conor?
Yes, it is the right fight for him because Conor's still a work in progress. But like I said to you before, when you have beliefs coupled with ambition, you're a dangerous man. And he really does believe this thing now, right? You can see it in his demeanor. You can see it in his persona and his aura, what he's letting off. I got Conor Benn winning this fight in 7 rounds. I'm telling you that now. Conor Benn has to be one of the most improved fighters in the UK today. How he's just gone up there, it was like there's a lot of eyeballs on him because, yeah, the son of a legend and all the rest of it. But the nicest thing is that he's carving his own way now. You know what I mean? And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He's a lovely, lovely kid, right? But he just wants it, and he truly wants it. And I rate him. I rate him. And I also got to rate the style and what Tony Sims has put him in, right? Because he's become smart as well as a boxer. Not only is he just trying to go crash bang wallet, but you can see him boxing. But you can see from the earlier fights, that was it the Pinata fight when he got knocked down and that, right? You can see that steady progression, but it's been steady progression. It's like, I'm here now and then, boom, it's just blown up. So you know what? I got Conor Benn winning in 7 rounds.
Probably one of the most exciting fighters in world boxing, Katie Taylor, is back as well on the card up against Jennifer Han. I know Jennifer's had a couple of losses, but to be honest, Spence, Katie's proven what she is, an outstanding athlete, an outstanding boxer and fighter, an undisputed champion. What more can she accomplish?
There's going to be some mega fights for her. Katie Taylor is one of the reasons, like of today's boxing, there's a couple of fighters out there, female fighters, but Katie Taylor is one of the reasons why it's not female boxing no more, it's just boxing, right? I'm telling you that now. Certain things that she does, how she, you know what I mean, her persistence, her work rate, how she throws educated shots. Katie Taylor is a breath of fresh air because I know that boxers will look at her, not female boxers, boxers in general, when we nick stuff from her because she's that good. Very, very good fighter. So we've got a couple of the female fighters right now are blowing up. And also, while we're talking about female fighters, I urge anybody to go and watch Untold, right? Which is on Netflix about Christy Martin, or the former boxing champ. She was the one that actually really brought female boxing to the forefront because she was promoted by Don King. But seriously, go check out her story, man. It's incredible. It's a really, really good story.
Spence, I'll end on this. WBA, I know they've got a lot of criticism over the past with the volume of belts that they have per weight division. They announced that they will be getting rid of the interim titles and they are ordering the interim champion versus the regular, and hopefully they'll end up fighting the super champion. It's a good start, isn't it?
Bro, I can't keep up with champions no more. You see, like when I was a kid, it was a religious thing to go buy all the magazines. So I'd get the Ring, the KO, the Boxing Illustrated, what other ones would I get as well? Which was just a regular thing, right? Boxing was a must. You know what I mean? If I go to my mother's home now, I could go into my old, delve into one of the spare cupboards and you see thousands of boxing, right? Seriously, thousands of them. So, yeah, it's a good thing what they've been doing. But when I was a kid, I could tell you every champion, every weight, and I remember when the IBF first properly came out, and like, and another title, and how do we keep up, and like how it would go in the, what was it? I think it was in the Boxing Illustrated, it would, if you're a world champion, and in the Ring magazine, they have stars by your name. So you'd have 3 stars for the IBF, 1 star for the WBC, and 2 stars for WBA, something like that, I can't remember. But that's what it was. So you'd look, and I knew every single guy, and they'd have the top 15. I know every top 15 fighter right throughout the weights. I can't do that now. And I believe I can't keep up with the nonsense. I'm not that interested, right? So I think it's a step in the right direction, but they should also get rid of the super champs as well. and you just be that one champion in the WBA, right? But it goes like this. I remember years ago, I think I was with Chris Eubank Sr. at a dinner and dance, and this was about 2001. Yeah, it was 2001 at the Commonwealth Sports Awards. And I remember he comes and I said, no, but I was talking, I said, no, Chris, there's too many titles, man. He goes, listen, Spence. There should be more, because who knew the WBO? Who knew the WBO? When I came around and I fought for the WBO, nobody knew it. I made that title. And I said, yeah, I hear that. But brother, there's too many titles. I can't keep up with this thing. It was like, you have a point, but there should be more. That was his mindset then, right? And I get to the thing like, right, and then, well, you ain't nobody, you got a belt wrapped around you, so it helps to sell. I know I promoted, and you belts help to sell stuff, and people like these trinkets and all the rest of it, yeah? But before I'd even sit down and watch these trinkets, yeah, I'd rather watch good fights, like 50-50 fights, right? We don't need trinkets behind them to help sell them. Right? Even though the world has evolved, and I think the WBA is a step in the right place, but I think we should get rid of all of this other. If you're a champion, you're a champion, right? But when you win these crowns, and I'll tell you how it is, like the history of it is this: these other titles were invented to appease TV stations, right? You don't believe me? Who does Anthony Joshua fight for? Who does Anthony Joshua? Who's he promoted by?
Eddie Hearn.
Right. Who's Tyson Fury promoted by?
Frank.
Don't you think that should be an easy fight to make? Exactly. We appeal. One's on one network, the other one's on another network. So TV network said, well, we ain't got the champions now, so we've got to affiliate with the champions. How are we going to do that? And this is how it's all come, right? This is how it's all come about, and it's wrong, because I'm saying, yet again, it is hurting the sport. But you can't complain if you say, well, I've got a title, this other person's got a title. Cool. We could chop the money in the middle. Go fight each other. Because the WBA can do that, but what the WBA also have to do is get rid of their super champions. WBC got to get rid of their champion in recess or their mistress title or this. They need to get rid of these kind of foolishness. Get rid of them, but it's all down to money. And if you know that someone's fighting for that belt there, and we're going to get a commission from the purses, then they're going to have them there. But really and truly, they should get rid of them, because it's spoiling the sport. Because a guy would just be happy to have a belt and just say, I'm going to have my couple defense over here. I'm not going to go against the other guy who says he's champion as well. And that's bullshit. The best should fight the best. Like what they're doing in the UFC. Fight the best. Simple as that. We'd have never had that in the 1980s. I'll tell you that now. You know what I mean? Ray Leonard fought everybody. All right? Tommy Hearns fought everybody. Marvin Hagler fought everybody. Roberto Duran, who was a lightweight and the greatest lightweight champion of all time, fought everybody. Right? Fight everyone. So when you have all of these titles, it helps people financially to a certain degree. Yeah? But when it comes morally, it doesn't help.
Spence, always a pleasure. Enjoy the fight this Saturday night on DAZN, and I was like plugging DAZN there.
I say a massive big up to Maxie Hughes, right? Because he's on the undercard fight for the WBO title, and Max is gonna do it. IBO, the IBO title. Yeah, it's a minor in the great schemes of thing, but I like Maxie's skill. He's a very good fighter, and he is a person that is a respecter of the noble art. So I'm saying a massive big up to Maxie Hughes. Go bring back that belt, baby.
Spencer Fearon, IFL TV. Thank you very much.